Good evening, a warm welcome to our main news bulletin. Let's go straight and look at the stories making headlines in our news tonight. Ruling UPND members appeal to parliamentarians to lift former President Edgar Lungu's immunity. Police justify prolonged detention of a Socialist Party youth leader. Government institutes investigations in the murder of 2 cattle rustlers by a mob in Shibuyunji district. And in international news, World Health Organization authorizes second malaria vaccine for children. And in sports news, HAALUBONO optimistic ahead of Congo World Cup test. My name is Sylvia Zulu. Do join me with the details shortly.
Live your dream today by playing na Winner Lotto and stand a chance to win up to 2,000 kwacha every day.
And in order to play Zambia's most trusted lottery, first make sure you have money in your mobile money account.
In order to stand a chance to win, you need to follow these steps. Step number 1, dial *388*6#. Step number 2, select option 1 to buy your ticket. Step number 3, select option 5, which is Camnet. Step number 4, buy 1 ticket for 5 kwacha, 2 tickets for 10 kwacha, or 10 tickets for 50 kwacha. Number 5, enter your mobile PIN to confirm your purchase.
After buying your ticket, you will be entered into the day's draw and a unique code will be sent to you via SMS.
Draws will be done every day right here on Camnet TV, and the winners will be announced right here on Camnet TV every day at 19 hours. Remember, the more tickets you buy, the higher chances of winning. Get busy!
And now the news in detail. The Lusaka Magistrate Court has convicted and sentenced a 20-year-old housewife of Lusaka to 12 months simple imprisonment, but suspended to 15 months for deserting her 7-month-old baby and 2 others aged 6 and 7. This was in a case where Maureen Makai of Mtendere Township admitted before Magistrate Mubuyana Simvula to facing 3 counts of desertion of a child, an offense contrary to Section 168 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. Let's get the details in this report.
20-year-old Maureen Makai, a housewife, makes her exit from the Lusaka subordinate court premise shortly after being given a 15-month suspended sentence. The mother of 3 pleaded guilty to the offense of desertion of a child, an offense contrary to Section 168 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the laws of Zambia. Magistrate Simvula convicted and sentenced her to 12 months simple imprisonment, but suspended to 15 months. The mother of 3 was lucky Tuesday morning when she escaped a 12-month jail sentence after Magistrate Simvula heard a plea for mercy. Her plea, however, came with a warning that she deceased from the habit of neglecting her children. The court told the convict that it was a duty to take care of her children and not to play. After her release, Makai told journalists that she had learned a lesson and will avoid finding herself in such a situation.
Bachibulu okutenza kusunga bana bachibulu bakayina bali kuno bachibulu baba mnalanga bachibulu banga kuno kulipa so why sinasakile polo kwasiya polo baniba mwasila baniba nanga manebazi yanga ile na vest ndokuliza so sininga basili bana bantu besini kurizana naye so leso ni yanafunzira ako yakuti nabananzi bambibeka bwekesha hapo noko stundi kunze stumo semu.
Her neighbors had lodged a complaint against her at the Victim Support Unit at Mutendere Police Station, among other things that she was in the habit of leaving her children for long hours without care and would sometime return home at 21 hours, and when her neighbors advised her, she would instead insult them. According to facts before court, the neighbors had made an effort to tell their husband, but the situation remained the same. During her mitigation this morning, Makai, when pleading with the court on why she should not be sent to prison, said she was not aware that leaving her children without the care of anyone was an offense. She pleaded for mercy and told the court that she loves her children. The court has exercised maximum lenience on her on the basis that she is supposed to look after her children, with one being 7 months and breastfeeding. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
A state witness has told the Economic and Financial Crimes Court that there was nothing irregular in the land transaction done by former Lusaka Province Minister Bowman Lusambo. Jacqueline Sikazwe, a registrar at the Ministry of Lands, was testifying in a matter where Mr. Lusambo is facing 2 counts of corruptly acquiring property. During cross-examination, the witness told Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chimbwili that one of the properties the Anti-Corruption Commission was seeking access to was purchased at a cost of 75,000 kwacha. Miriam Kaimba reports.
The Economic and Financial Crimes Court has commenced hearing trial in a corruption-related case involving former Lusaka Province Minister Bowman Lusambo. Mr. Lusambo was recently slapped with 2 more counts of corruptly acquiring property and appeared before Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chimbwili. The first prosecution witness, Jacqueline Sikazwe, a registrar at the Ministry of Land, told court during cross-examination that there was nothing irregular in the land transaction done by the accused. In her testimony, she narrated that in March 2022, Anti-Corruption Commission officers approached them with a warrant of access where they were seeking information regarding properties allegedly being linked to the accused. She testified that she availed the officers with the information on the said 2 properties. During cross-examination, the witness told Chief Resident Magistrate Davis Chimbwili that one of the properties the Anti-Corruption Commission was seeking information on was purchased at a cost of 75,000 kwacha. Allegations before court against Mr. Lusambo are that between the 1st of May 2015 and the 31st of December 2021, the accused possessed property in Lusaka consisting of a single-story 4-bedroom house, a guest wing, and a car shed. In the second count, the accused is alleged to have between the said date possessed an incomplete block of 6 flats in Lusaka's Chamba Valley, also property reasonably deemed to be proceeds of crime. His matter is being heard by the Specialized Economic and Financial Crimes Court at the Lusaka Magistrate. The case comes up tomorrow, the 4th of October 2023, for continuation of trial. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Severe water blues has hit Lusaka's Kamwala Ward 5, with some residents claiming to have dry taps for 3 weeks now. On the 18th of September, the Lusaka Water and Supply Sanitation Company effected the shutdown of one water treatment plant in Kafiwe to commence repair works on its 900mm steel supply line to the city, which resulted in reduced supply. Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, one of the affected residents has accused the water utility company of not adhering to the water rationing schedule, leaving them without water completely. Kamwala Ward 5 Councillor Mainda Simata has called on the Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit, DMMU, to move in, as the water blues have already resulted in a breakout of typhoid in the area.
The effects of the shutdown of the Rwanda 1 water treatment plant in Kafiwe to pave way for repair works on the 900mm steel pipeline to Lusaka has started to be felt. The Lusaka Water Supply and Sanitation Company shut down the plant in September following a leakage, which was causing a notable loss of water. The plant's shutdown was going to see reduced water supply in some parts of Lusaka, with the water utility company having drawn up a schedule of supply. But according to these residents in Lusaka's Kamwala, there is a near shutdown for almost 3 weeks, and according on the water utility company to look into the matter.
We haven't had water in about 3 weeks now, and the problem seems to be escalating because at first we had little pressure and now we have nothing. When we used to have water, it used to come between 02 and 04, but in some areas there's no water completely, like here where I live there's no water completely.
Area Councillor Mainda Simata has since bemoaned the situation, which he says has seen a blackout of typhoid in the area.
I'm very concerned with the inconsistency being exhibited by Lusaka Water in terms of not following the laid down schedule. I am aware that they've got technical difficulties such as pressure, but at the same time we need mitigation measures to be put in place.
Mr. Smart has disclosed that the water utility company is releasing a water bowser to service the area, but is not enough, calling on the disaster management and mitigation unit DMMU to come on board.
Single water bowser is not sufficient to go around because it's also being needed in all the 38 wards of Lusaka, which has also been hit with lack of water. So it's not sustainable that all 38 wards can be calling and using one particular water bowser, and that's why I've written to the DMMU to call for help, for emergency help in terms of providing water bowsers.
When reached for a comment on the matter, Lusaka Water and Supply and Sanitation Company requested for a press query. For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security, Jack Mwimbu, has disclosed that investigations have been instituted into the alleged burning of 2 cattle rustlers to death by an alleged mob in Mulimba village, Shibuyunji district. While responding to a concern from the Opposition Patriotic Front, Bambashe, Member of Parliament on the floor of the National Assembly, Mr. Mwimbu condemned the alleged acts and assured of policing interventions to be undertaken.
On Wednesday, 13 September 2023, Mumbwa district in Central Province was the home of bloodshed as an irate mob allegedly murdered 2 prominent Nkayema and Mumbwa businessman, Sikaonga Ernest, popularly known as Yakaipa, and his friend David Mwakioma, a Tanzanian national, during a riot after information went around that a person had been killed in a suspected ritual murder. About 136 people believed to have been behind the riots in Mumbwa were also on 17 September 2023 arrested by police, but 17 days down the line, 2 suspected cattle rustlers were yesterday Monday, 2nd October 2023, burnt to death by irate villages in Mulimba area of Shibuyunji district of Central Province. The suspected cattle rustlers are alleged to have been found loading 10 cattle around 01 hours into a Volvo truck. Police spokesperson Ray Hamonga confirmed the incident. With mob killings becoming rampant in the country, questions on whether or not public confidence for police officers is present arise. While on the floor of the National Assembly Tuesday, Pambashe Member of Parliament Ronald Chitotela expressed concern about the growing illegal act.
And the Home Affairs. Madam Speaker, Zambia woke up to a very rude shock that 2 people in Mwembesh constituency were burnt to ashes. And this began with Mumbwa. Now it is in Mwembesh. Tomorrow, Madam Speaker, we may not know where this may happen. Is the minister responsible for my security internally in order to remain quiet, Madam Speaker, when citizens of this country that began with Mumbwa, now in Mwembesh, are taking the law in their own hands by burning and killing suspected individuals who may be innocent citizens?
Meanwhile, Minister of Home Affairs and Internal Security Jack Mwimbu has condemned the action and disclosed that investigations are underway.
Speaker, because of us not condoning illegality, a number of people in Mumbwa were arrested and jailed for taking the law in their own hands. In the similar vein, we condemn the action of the people in Shibuyunji. We do not condone anyone taking the law in their own hands. It's not unusual, Madam Speaker, to find that innocent victims have found themselves in such a situation. And I will call upon members of the public, if they are suspecting that criminality has occurred, to report the matter to the police. We are investigating the matter, Madam Speaker. We will be informing the nation in due course.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Socialist Party has accused the Zambia police of being political in the matter, where Socialist Party National Youth General Secretary Gabriel Banda has been detained since Thursday last week. Socialist Party National Youth spokesperson Stanley Mubasa wonders why Mr. Banda has not been given a bond despite his charges being bondable. However, police spokesperson Ray Hamonga has clarified that the Socialist Party National Youth General Secretary was taken to Kanakantapa because of lack of space in cells within Lusaka. Here's a report.
Over the years, concerns have arisen over prolonged detention of suspected offenders of the law. Latest to cry foul is the Socialist Party after the arrest of its National Youth General Secretary Gabriel Banda, charged with proposing violence and criminal trespass, contrary to sections 91 and 306 of the laws of Zambia. But National Youth spokesperson Stanley Mubasa wonders why Gabriel had to be taken to Kanakantapa, away from the scene of his suspected offense.
We are very, very disappointed that this behavior has continued, even when we thought it is going to be a different case with the UPND administration in government. Clearly, we cannot talk about rule of law because the UPND administration is in the forefront through various stakeholders and government institutions leading in the violation of human rights, just like they have continued to do so against many citizens of this country.
But in response, police spokesperson Ray Hamonga says Gabriel was taken to Kanakantapa because of lack of space in the cells within Lusaka, saying at the time of his arrest, police had conducted an operation to round up junkies in Lusaka, which filled the cells to capacity.
At the time of his arrest, we are having an operation also in Lusaka, ongoing operation. You are aware that we have this problem of junkies, and we had rounded up a lot of people. And that particular time, our cells were full to capacity. And the only place where we found an empty cell was Kanakantapa, and that's the reason why he found himself there in Kanakantapa. Suffice to state that he's in police custody. We have not detained him in an illegal place, not at all. A police, as by law established, is a gazetted place, and the cell that where he is in a legally gazetted place where a person who has committed an offense can be put into.
Mr. Hamonga also responded to concerns of Gabriel's long detention.
As police do not prosecute persons, we arrest, then the National Prosecution Authority is charged with the responsibility of prosecuting the persons. Now in this case, after we did that, we forwarded the case on Friday to NPA, and then NPA also has to study it, and of course it went into a weekend. And you know that the weekend doesn't count. Even if somebody was to be taken before a court, there's no court that operates on weekends. So this is where we are, and we'll continue to follow it up with NPA to have him indicted. But however, the prosecution has given first instructions to enable us to record more statements, which we are doing right now.
Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
The United Party for National Development, UPND, in Lusaka province has urged members of parliament to move a motion for the removal of former President Edgar Lungu's immunity. UPND Information Publicity Secretary Matomola Lukwanya claims that the move will pave the way for the prosecution of some suspected corruption cases that are stopping at the former head of state. Meanwhile, Kamwala Ward 5 Councillor Mainda Simata has called on the government to review the awarding of all tenders through the Electronic Government Procurement EGP system, as it is disadvantaging startups and small-medium enterprises.
We hold the view that the fight against corruption will not be achieved if we spare former President Edgar Chagwarungu. There are some people right now who are hiding in the name of former President Edgar Chagwarungu. You touch them, they will tell you, no, this vehicle I have, the one who bought for me, is former President Edgar Chagwarungu. We hold the view that most of the crimes, the corruption that were happening during the time of the Patriotic Front were orchestrated by this man. I think we must move in that direction. It's not a witch hunt. I also want to tell you that during the time when FTJ was alive, Dr. Frederick Chulwa was alive, former President Dr. Edgar Chagwarungu was very key and instrumental in advocating for the removal of former President Dr. Chiluba's immunity. He was one of the lawyers, together with Winter Kabimba, that stood strongly to speak against the removing of FTJ's immunity.
We are not going to allow systems to take precedence over human interests. So once again, and in closing, as councillors, we are saying that the electronic government procurement system must be limited to tenders that are above 4 million. In the interest of ensuring that every bidder, those that are new in business, are able to successfully bid for contracts, all contracts and tenders that are below 4 million must be left for the local authorities to advertise and process them.
An economist, Ikabongo Muya, says there is no need to worry about the sinking fund for debt repayment, as the country still has time to repay its debt. Speaking to Camnet News, Mr. Muya believes the proposals of the 2024 national budget should implement debt repayment. Nelson Zulu has the details in this report.
On Friday, 23 June 2023, Zambia struck a deal to restructure $6.3 billion in debt owed to governments abroad, including China, in a breakthrough for indebted nations around the world that have faced lengthy negotiations with their creditors. This move sparked celebrations in the country as many received it with open arms. Other stakeholders have been calling for the creation of a sinking fund to help the country in debt repayment. During the budget presentation by the Minister of Finance and National Planning, Dr. Stumbeko Msokotwane disclosed that Zambia has not yet reached an agreement with commercial creditors, but economist Ikabongo Muya says there's no need to worry about the sinking fund for debt repayment as the country still has time to repay its debt. Mr. Muya says all that should be of focus is full implementation of the proposals in the 2024 national budget.
Debt that has been restructured has actually been done in such a way that we have been given some time off up to 2027. And this is enough time for us to be able to implement, raise enough funds for us to be able to stimulate the economy in different sectors that are able to help us get our economy on the wheels again. So, as it stands now, our budget is quite ambitious, and I think we have a lot of positives that are coming out of that. And looking forward, I think we should be able to achieve our goal of repayment, as well as grow the economy and have the capacity to repay the debt that we owe.
The economist has also underscored that Zambia has the capacity to repay its debt once all sectors and players focus on activities that are productive.
It is a small change, but actually can have very big effect on how much the spending is going to be in the economy. And once you enable the households to increase their spending, then as a government you know that there's always a way where a stream of income that will come through taxes. So in a way I think this budget should be viewed as a positive outcome, and if we implement it properly, we should be able to get the desired outcome.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
A women's organization has expressed concerns that the government has once again failed to address inequality through the proposed 2024 national budget. Young Women's Christian Association of Zambia, YWCA Executive Director Miriam Mwinga, notes with dismay that the budget does not provide for the operationalization of the Gender Equity and Equality Act and the establishment of the Gender Commission, which is a constitutional requirement. Ms. Mwinga hoped that the budget would give an indication of the re-establishment of the Ministry of Gender to guarantee women's representation in policy-making positions.
Last Friday, 29th September 2023, Minister of Finance and National Planning, Stumbeko Msokotwane, presented the proposed 2024 national budget. According to Dr. Msokotwane, government plans to spend 178 billion kwacha in the coming year, but a women's rights group is not happy with government's failure to address gender inequalities through the 2024 national budget. Young Women's Christian Association of Zambia, YWCA Executive Director Miriam Mwinga, says the 2024 national budget remains gender blind just like before.
One of our concerns is regarding the issues of the gender machinery that the women have been talking about. We do not have a ministry of gender. We do not have a minister of gender to sit in cabinet and speak on the issues of women, as well as push for budgetary allocation of resources towards women's issues. What we have not seen is the allocation again towards the issues of the Gender Equity and Equality Commission, which we were hoping would come out strongly in this budget, because we do not have a ministry, so that once it is put into effect, we'll be able to see maybe the actualization of the Anti-Gender-Based Violence Fund.
Ms. Mwenga has further projected that cases of gender-based violence, GBV, will persist as there is no budgetary allocation towards the full operationalization of the Anti-GBV Act, particularly for the establishment of the Anti-GBV Fund, as well as the construction of safe houses and shelters as provided for in the Act.
We'll continue seeing cases of gender-based violence being on the rise, women trying as much as possible to remain in violent environments, sticking on to that partner who is mistreating them simply because they don't have an alternative. So one of the reasons why we are having challenges in curbing the vices is that we don't have alternatives. For instance, we have children that are being married off at the age of 14. If you withdraw a child from a marriage, what alternative are you giving her from withdrawing her from that marriage which she entered into because she could not sustain herself? And the Anti-GBV Fund could have been one of those alternatives that we would have loved to have seen and be given to the young women out there who face gender-based violence.
Meanwhile, the Non-Governmental Gender Organizations Coordinating Council, NGOCC, has echoed these concerns in a statement availed to Camnet TV News. Zambia records about 30,000 cases of gender-based violence within 365 days, and the national budget is one chance for government to show its commitment to eradicating this vice. After the presentation of the next year's national budget and concerns raised by stakeholders, will it be safe for one to say there is no administrative or political will to end the vice? Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Government says it is open to hear from those with reservations on a Constituency Development Fund, CDF utilization, monitoring and evaluation. Some institutions have called on government to strengthen monitoring of CDF following the increase of the fund in the 2024 national budget, as there is no clear audit this far. Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development Permanent Secretary Mambo Hamaundu, however, says just like any other state program, there are safeguards which have been put in place to ensure proper utilization of CDF. Mr. Hamaundu says despite all the safeguards, stakeholders with other suggestions on bettering monitoring of CDF can approach the ministry, as government is running an open door policy.
Several stakeholders have welcomed the increased Constituency Development Fund CDF with reservations on oversight of its usage. In the 2024 national budget, government announced the increase of CDF from 28.3 million kwacha to 30.6 million kwacha per constituency. Commenting on the concerns, the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, Permanent Secretary Administration Mambo Hamaundu, says there are adequate mechanisms to monitor prudent utilization of CDF.
You know, we have internal auditors at the local authorities who carry out those audits. We've got people who are at the ministry carrying out audits. And beyond that, we also have audits which are conducted every year by the Office of the Auditor General. So, and when the Auditor General does finish conducting their audit, they submit it to Parliament, who play an oversight role. So as much as there could be those concerns, sometimes I feel that we have an information gap which we probably need to deal with.
Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Amaundu, however, says institutions with reservations on CDF utilization and monitoring are welcome to approach the ministry.
If there are any matters of concern, particular matters of concern, the public is at liberty to come through. We have a conversation. That's why we're here as a ministry, is to listen to the public and also know what their concerns are. And if it's a question of suggesting something which is already in existence, we will mention to say this particular aspect is already in existence, and will make the public aware.
On Monday, during the National Symposium on the 2024 National Budget, some stakeholders, among them Zaki and Zika, expressed concern over what they term inadequate monitoring and evaluation of CDF utilization in the country. For Camnet TV News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
You're watching the main news on Camnet TV. We now take our first set of commercials. Do join me with more news after the break. Don't go away.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, too, me.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
Live your dream today by playing Nawina Lotto and start a chance to win up to 2,000 kwacha every day.
And in order to play Zambia's most trusted lottery, first make sure you have money in your mobile money account.
In order to stand a chance to win, you need to follow these steps. Step number 1, dial *388*6#. Step number 2, select option 1 to buy your ticket. Step number 3, select option 5, which is Camnet. Step number 4, buy 1 ticket for 5 kwacha, 2 tickets for 10 kwacha, or 10 tickets for 50 kwacha. Number 5, enter your mobile PIN to confirm your purchase.
After buying your ticket, you will be entered into the day's draw and a unique code will be sent to you via SMS.
Draws will be done every day right here on Camnet TV, and the winners will be announced right here on Camnet TV every day at 19 hours. Remember, the more tickets you buy, the higher chances of winning. Get busy, Iwe!
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
That's a report I was given. Ati sayendako bosi ati mizako muntu eka nitupumuleko please tulibeba banja knife better because if I don't go to their doorsteps, the relation is better vis-a-vis. Let me start dealing with these issues vis-a-vis farmer doorsteps head on.
At your doorstep. Time 11 hours to 12 hours every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, and repeats from 18 to 19 hours every Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Thank you for staying with us. We now continue with more news. Opposition Patriotic Front Lukansha constituency Member of Parliament George Chisanga has charged that the government has decided to increase the CDF allocation for political gains, unlike promoting development in the country. In the 2024 national budget, government has proposed to increase the Constituency Development Fund CDF from 28.3 million kwacha to 30.6 million kwacha. Mr. Chisanga wonders why the government decided to increase the budgetary allocation of the CDF without addressing some of the challenges being faced, such ultimately disbursement of funds, among others.
In Kocha constituency up now, for the 2023 quarter, we only received 6 million for the capital projects. We approved all the projects for the 2023, but are not being funded. So for me, it doesn't come with excitement. This time when I received information, the minister has decided in the budget to increase to 30.2. I think it's 30.2 million. It doesn't come with excitement. It would have come with excitement if I had utilized the previous one properly and all the money has gone into the constituency. There are also challenges that are why we had put most of our social infrastructures, because we knew there was capacity. We have been pleading with this government that you can't utilize the local authorities currently without initiative to create capacity, to develop capacity within the areas. Local authorities. So it's like giving a child 1 million kwacha when all he is able to utilize is 10 kwacha. So we need to be able to also increase capacity in the local authority. Over the CDF is not the case. Of course, there are other issues that people are raising, and I think I'm going to have to establish when I go back on the situation. That lately, from the beginning, from inception, that portion that talks about loans and grants is basically a system through which the UPND is trying to incentivize.
A political activist has called for strengthened laws that will compel foreign chain stores to stock locally produced goods. In an interview with Camnet News, Brian Walia charged that compelling the chain stores to support locally produced products will help empower local farmers. Mr. Walia says the agricultural sector in the country has been struggling with markets while citizens are made to consume agricultural produce from other countries. Mr. Walia says it has no economic sense for the country to allow chain stores to import goods that can be sourced locally.
We are appealing to the President of the Republic of Zambia, Dr. Hakainde Hichilema, and our Zambian parliamentarians to look seriously into the issue of farming by enacting the law which will enable our investors like ShopRite, Pick and Pay, KFC, and Hungry Lion to start buying local. In that way, we're going to encourage little farmers to go into poultry and others to go into irrigation. But if these laws which will allow the investors to be buying from their kind of origin, I think is somehow killing the economy and the growth of the economy of this nation. Zambia, we're sitting on enough water, we're sitting on enough, we've got enough sunlight. And if what South African can do, Zambian we can do better. So if we buy local, automatically this economy will be good, and will be good not just for us, but even for the generation to come.
Residents of LUNGU'S Kapulanga compound and the surrounding areas are calling on the local authority to work on Kambule Stream Bridge, which becomes impossible, especially during the rainy season. Speaking to Camnet News in Mongu, Kalimukwa Musiwa, who represented the residents, complained about the lack of a bridge at Kambule stream, adding that currently people are crossing the stream by using laid-down poles. Mr. Kalimukwa is calling on the local authority to address the challenge by putting up a bridge. And Kambule Ward Councillor Jimmy Kaumba has assured the residents that soon the bridge will be worked on using the Constituency Development Fund, CDF.
With the onset of the rain season, pupils at Kambule Technical and Science Secondary School, as well as other residents in Kanyonyo Ward, are likely to be disadvantaged and completely cut off from accessing education after the bridge they relied on became impassable and posed a danger to pedestrians. The residents have called on the local authority to immediately put up a bridge at the crossing point for easy access to the 2 points of the stream, especially by the pupils. Speaking to Camnet News in Mungu, some pupils have also raised the concern about the bridge at Kambule stream, which has taken long from the time the community started complaining about it.
Haya kwa school mananga problem ya papa kapishkai. Sio kupata nkutimuso kuna kuweza hoteli bridge ya kupitanga. Abamba we angamantene mwezi mo. Aho mpa pula kaka atumia azibinje ukatanga. Kacho kupata ngiso kutukona kuweza hoteli bridge ya.
Parents spoken to are also appealing to the local authority to construct a bridge before the rain season starts.
Kumbala ferafa kononna ko yamunda twale asali amanga tamesi manoro anyandanga banana banga faba kutonanulanga babya fama heta mani kuyanua na fabuse kono bungata kwali kolozalo na ze mungu beski ni kanyonyonyo na Kambule kaufera basere kufitanga onafa mano sabule bana babona bazima kapulanga nibona bazafale baya kwa spatera kono abafita fa nweno wabona fera kulya kandi mutano kinya basato lufale liona kubaru ya eleona kamune kutokwale
ukwateni musokuli urutu sekwateni tanzira fa au shimbieze bukiti alukoni kusira fateni fa pokumanelo awangani kuwa nibana na kwa mikokoto chai muso murushwele mangeke.
Kambule Ward Councillor Jimmy Kaumba also echoed the same sentiment regarding the construction of the bridge.
We have this challenge of a crossing point from Kanyonyo Ward to Kambule Ward via the school. That problem actually, it is something which is really actually giving us problem and travel issues. We have been communicating with the council through engineering departments, and they assured us that through this 2024, the coming 2024 CDF, they are going to move the money from disaster management through CDF to construct a crossing point from Kanyonyo Ward to Kambule Ward.
Mosi Wakabia reporting for Camnet News in Mungu, Western Province.
Still ahead in the news, the World Health Organization authorized its second malaria vaccine for children. I will be back with the details after the break.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Beginning 26 September 2023, watch a Zambian wedding on Camnet Television. Time 16 hours every Tuesday and Thursday, only on Camnet Television. Camnet Television has become your channel in Zambia and globally. Watch and subscribe to Camnet Television on Facebook, YouTube, and other social platforms. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
That's a report I was given. Ati sayendako bosi ati mzako muntu eka nitupumuleko please tulina banja nafi Speta chambe ni ambo konkera because if I don't go to their doorsteps the relation is a sira. Better vis-a-vis. Let me start dealing with this vis-a-vis. I'm a doorstep. Head on.
At your doorstep. Time 11 hours to 12 hours every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And repeats from 18 to 19 hours every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Camnet Television, not just another channel.
Thank you for still staying with us. And now, with the rest of the news, in international news, a fire at a police headquarters in northeastern Egypt has injured at least 38 people, according to the country's health ministry. The blaze broke out in the early hours of Monday morning and ripped through the multi-story building located in Sus Kano province of Ismailia, according to ministry spokesperson Hassam Abdul Ghaffar. 12 of the injured were treated on site, while 26 others were taken to hospital, all but 2 suffering from breathing difficulties. According to the spokesperson, 7 of the injured were treated and discharged. Here's a roundup of international news.
The World Health Organization, WHO, has recommended a second malaria vaccine for children, which could save hundreds of thousands of lives by plugging a huge supply and demand gap. The new R21 Matrix M vaccine, developed by Britain's Oxford University and manufactured by the Serum Institute of India, has already been approved for use in Burkina Faso, Ghana, and Nigeria.
Areas with seasonal transmission, it reduced symptomatic cases of malaria by 75% in the 12 months following a 3-dose series of the vaccine. A 4th dose given a year after the third was shown to maintain protection.
Nearly 500,000 children in the African region die every year from the disease. In 2021, WHO endorsed the first malaria vaccine in what it described as a historic effort to end the devastating toll the disease has on Africa.
Well, I think this is great news. We still have a major challenge with malaria, with over 220 million cases and around 600,000 deaths a year. And those are, majority of those are occurring in children under the age of 5 in sub-Saharan Africa. Now, we already have one licensed malaria vaccine, and that has been implemented in 3 countries so far and is starting to be rolled out next year in several others. One of the challenges has been the supply of that particular vaccine. So having a second vaccine available with similarly high efficacy, but also that has available supply and is priced to a level that makes it a cost-effective intervention, is really going to have a dramatic impact in sub-Saharan Africa.
The UN Health Agency on Monday also endorsed what it says is the first effective vaccine for dengue, another major disease carried by mosquitoes.
Kenya will lead an international force tasked with bringing order back in Haiti, the country where gangs are responsible for a surge in killings, rapes and kidnappings. Kenya has previously proposed sending 1,000 police officers. Countries including Jamaica have also pledged to send personnel. The 15-member UN Council approved Monday the resolution drafted by the US. Russia and China abstained.
Today, the UN Security Council made history in authorizing the multinational security support mission to Haiti. We have stepped up to create a new way of preserving global peace and security, answering the repeated calls of a member state facing a multidimensional crisis amid alarming, spiraling gang violence. With participation from countries all over the world, and with much thanks to Kenya for positively considering to lead, the international community can now move forward with a multinational security support mission for Haiti.
The resolution authorizes the force to deploy for an initial one-year period. The vote came nearly a year after Haitian Prime Minister and top government officials requested the immediate deployment of a foreign armed force as authorities struggled to suppress gang violence. The Security Council also expanded a UN arms embargo to include all gangs.
Tunisia has said it is refusing to accept the funds allocated by the European Union as it runs counter to the agreement concluded in July between the two parties. On Monday evening, President Kais Saied described the funds as charity and a derisory amount. On September 22, the European Commission announced that it would begin rapidly allocating the funds provided for under the agreement with Tunisia in order to reduce the number of migrants arriving from the country. The Commission specified that some 42 million euros of the 105 million euros in aid provided for would be rapidly allocated. A further 24.7 million euros had already been earmarked for ongoing programs. But in what was a twist issued in a press release by the Tunisian presidency Monday evening, President Kais Saied said Tunisia does not want sympathy and does not accept when it is done without respect. Tunisia, along with Libya, is the main point of departure for thousands of migrants crossing the central Mediterranean to Europe.
And now in sports news, Zambia under-20 women's national team coach Charles HAALUBONO is delighted with the progress made by his team ahead of Saturday's Colombia 2024 FIFA Women's World Cup second round first leg qualifier against DR Congo. HAALUBONO now has all the 35 players he provisionally summoned for the back-to-back second round fixture who are on a mission to qualify for the age group World Cup. HAALUBONO and his members of the technical bench and players have been gaining motivation from the senior women national team who have competed in all major tournaments, with the recent one being their debut World Cup jointly hosted by Australia and New Zealand in July. Winner over two legs will face Burundi or South Africa in the third round. Only two teams after the fifth round of qualifiers will qualify for the 2024 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup to be held in Colombia.
We've been preparing for this game, although it has a few weeks or a few days, but we are trying our level best and ensuring the game no matter what. We're working very hard because of course, like the way we train. We train double station and we train extremely hard. It's not easy in few days which we have, but we are pushing and we'll do our level best no matter what. Quite okay, Congo will be our first opponent. Then what I can encourage my team is that we just have to push hard for the Congo game so that we can win. We qualify, we go to the next round. Otherwise, we shall do our very best. We shall do our level best. Quite okay, the league has opened and we are not down the way we used to be. Sometimes when we enter the camp, you find ourselves that maybe we are down. As in for now, we are all active and we believe ourselves that we shall do our best.
That item brings us to the end of our main news tonight. But before I go, let's take a look at the stories making headlines. Ruling UPND members appeal to parliamentarians to lift former President Edgar Lungu's immunity. Police justify prolonged detention of a Socialist Party youth leader. Government institutes investigations in the murder of two cattle rustlers by a mob in Shibuyunji district. And in international news, World Health Organization authorizes second malaria vaccine for children. And in sports news, HAALUBONO optimistic ahead of Congo World Cup test. We now look at our Camnet verse of the day, coming from the book of Psalms 27. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid? Thank you so much for watching. On behalf of the entire Camnet News production crew, my name is Sylvia Zulu. For now, it's good night and pleasant viewing.